My name is Kyle Bombardier. I'm the SEO manager here at iMarket Solutions. And today we're going to be covering some SEO and organic search relevant updates as it pertains to COVID-19. So the main topics, what we're going to cover is I'm going to share some resources from Google. I'm going to go through some recent changes within the Google search results related to alerts and icons. I'm going to show you how to create a COVID post directly to your Google My Business profile, as well as cover some general search volume trends and just things to consider, as you're looking to whether or not you want to change your SEO and keyword targeting strategy. So this is the official post that Google created. If you want to pause the video, kind of write down the URL or plug that URL into your address bar, or you could just Google COVID-19 Google My Business. That's going to be the first result. This is the official support document from Google that they've created to help keep all of their Google My Business subscribers up to speed with all of the limited functionality of the platform due to COVID-19. So in the reputation and review management video, we're going to talk a lot more about some of the limitations with both posting reviews and also responding to them. But there are a lot of other limitations within the Google My Business platform. One of which being, just delays in general business updates. So if you change your business information, if you want to claim or optimize a profile, that can be delayed. If you want to post anything, any news or promotion outside of COVID-19 updates, that's going to be deprioritized. So, Google's trying to prioritize health-related updates and COVID-19 related updates to help the general community kind of understand a little bit more of what's pertinent as of today. So that's something to keep in mind. They're probably going to be updating this on a regular basis as things evolve. So again, I would recommend getting familiar with it. In best case scenario, I'd bookmark it and kind of check back as the situation develops. The other thing I want to show is just a little bit of a preview of what we've seen so far within the actual search results related to icons and alerts. So if you've done a search last week, either for your company name, which triggers the knowledge graph on the right-hand side of the screen, or you've done a search where it triggers the local map pack results to show up, you have seen this particular alert and icon. So while it might not necessarily, instill fear in the hearts and minds of people using Google, the red icon and red alert and just the language around it saying that services may differ due to COVID-19, that's a pretty powerful statement. And in my opinion, I think that probably did have an impact on people using Google search and potentially being a little bit less likely to call or convert just because of that warning. I'm actually really excited that they recently changed that. So this week, we started noticing that the icon itself has changed. It's a little more neutral, being a gray, but also the language around it. Hours of services may differ. It's a little bit more of a generic statement and might not have the same, effect on consumer behavior as the red alert. It is worth noting that no company really has the ability to alter this, remove it, or change it. Google is injecting this alert and language really as they deem necessary. So fortunately, iMarket can't change it. Nobody really can influence it. It's just going to be part of search, I think, for the time being. One other thing I want to show is first and foremost how a COVID-19 post appears in search, and then after this I'll show you how to create one. So in the bottom right-hand corner, you can see on the entire right-hand side of the screen, rather, this is going to be your knowledge graph, right? This is going to be the area where you can submit a post that is specifically designed to target updates and news and information related to COVID-19. It has some pretty good real estate on the search results page. Our initial evaluations have shown that people who have this created, it does result in a lot of engagement, a lot of clicks. So if a user clicks on it, you have the ability to include a lot more information, and I would definitely recommend using this feature of Google My Business to talk a little bit about COVID-19. One of the things I would highly recommend doing is just really straightforward calling out, if your hours or services are different due to this. A lot of local businesses are temporarily closed. Being in the HVAC, plumbing, electrical space, we're lucky because a lot of these businesses are considered essential. And so, the hours and the services might not be that much different, currently than it was a few months ago. And so, every local community is going to be different. All the local laws and legislation that's being passed is going to be slightly different depending on your location. But I would recommend calling out anything specific to your region. The fact that if you are in a city or town or state where HVAC, plumbing, electrical has been deemed um, essential, I would call that out here, and then really just call out some of the really important things that you're doing as a company to help protect your employees and your customers. So, sanitization practices that you have in place, distancing yourself from a consumer, when you go into their home. If you offer any digital diagnostics services, I would definitely call that out here. So, just really want to emphasize what you're doing to help protect, the community, while also serve them for their HVAC, plumbing, electrical needs. You'll see at the bottom here, there's a link to a website. And when you actually create this in Google My Business, you can link back to your site, either a blog post or a landing page, where you can add videos, pictures, a little bit more media, to help really drive the message home. As far as publishing it, it's pretty straightforward. Once you're logged into your Google My Business profile, you're going to want to click Posts on the left. COVID-19 update is going to be the default post. Add your update, include all that information we just talked about, and then decide if you want to link back to your site where there's more information, or if you just want to publish it without linking back. Typically, these are going live in less than an hour. Whereas if you want to post something else like a promotion, another feature that you can do, you're going to have that be much more delayed. So the last thing I wanted to run through is just the impact that COVID-19 is having on consumer behavior and overall search trends. And anytime there is something happening kind of in the outside world, a lot of external forces are going to dictate how consumers behave in general, but in specifically within the HVAC, plumbing, electrical space. Oftentimes it's something like weather, but there are a lot of factors at play. So what we're looking at here is the overall demand and relative popularity of a keyword, air scrubber, comparing March 1st to April 3rd of last year to this year. And what we're seeing here is, it doesn't give you the exact search volume. It's going to give us a relative level of demand and interest, a trend, for lack of a better word. It's that's the name of the platform here, Google Trends. But it's going to give you an overall kind of high-level understanding of how frequently this keyword is searched over time. So air scrubber, as you might expect, it's essentially doubled from last year to this year. And that's pretty common. We've seen that with a lot of different indoor air quality products and services and keywords. But what I really think is important to call out is kind of taking this information and saying, it increased in search demand and volume by 100%, is factual based on Google Trends. But it is interesting and really important to kind of keep this, take this information with a grain of salt and kind of look at it from a bigger picture. And so what we're looking at here is again, the relative demand, relative interest for two keywords, air scrubber last year, this year, looking at the same time frame of HVAC as a search term, as a query that people enter into Google. So the trend is about the same for air scrubber. It's doubling from 1 to 2, all things relative. A couple of really interesting notes though is HVAC is 35 times more popular over this time period, even given kind of the current state of of what's happening here. So that's really important to note. And the second thing that's important is that the actual relative search volume from last year to this year for HVAC is actually the same. And you can kind of see here as you go through the graph, there's a lot of ebbs and flows, peaks and valleys. But from a high level perspective, we're seeing very consistent demand kind of across the board as it relates to pretty generic keywords like HVAC, air conditioning, heating, stuff like that. So, that's just something, again, to keep in mind as you're deciding what to do with your marketing strategy, with your plans. There's definitely some opportunity. As you saw, there's double the search volume for things like air scrubber, ventilation, air purifier, UV air purifier, air filtration. A lot of opportunities to help your company attract more consumers, get more traffic leads, really, satisfy a need in your local community for people looking for these services. And that opportunity is there. But again, I would just caution and kind of look at the big picture, and really think twice before making a really strong or a really major shift in the overall marketing strategy from an SEO and digital marketing perspective. It's just, we haven't seen quite the level of impact kind of across the board as some of those percentages increases might seem to believe. So, that was really the main topics I wanted to cover today. As always, we're looking to help all of our clients and customers be more educated, be more knowledgeable, and really help you get through this time that we're in right now. So if you have any questions whatsoever, SEO related, please let your marketing coordinator know. We're more than happy to work with you on any request or any question that you have. If you're not a current iMarket customer, we'd love to talk to you more about not only the digital marketing solutions that we offer, but also some of the things that we do as a company and our partners to help them grow and be more successful as a company. So head on over to imarketsolutions.com, fill out the free digital marketing evaluation, and one of our sales reps will be in contact with you shortly. Again, my name is Kyle Bombardier. I'm the SEO manager here at iMarket Solutions. I want to thank you all for listening, tuning in. Hopefully you found some interesting information related to COVID-19 and SEO, and we'll talk soon. Thank you.